Los Angeles Raiders, the lone undefeated team in the conference, and the Buffalo Bills, who come into this game at 3-1. There are other good teams as well, that's for sure. The Miami Dolphins went to 4-1 today. Denver will try to go to 3-2 tomorrow night against Cleveland. The Pittsburgh Steelers got their offense going, and there are more as well. The Cincinnati Bengals in an overtime game with the Rams right now. Along with Pat Haden, I'm Skip Carey. But these are two good teams. Let's start first with the Raiders. I know you live in Los Angeles and have a chance to follow them more closely than do I. And everybody talks about Raider tradition and attitude. Tell me about it.
Well, it is an attitude. Kenny Stabler was just talking about it, and I think it starts with their head coach, Art Shell, in his first full season as the head coach. And he knows what Raider football is about. He was there as 15 years as a player. And his team is confident about this. And what Raider football is playing with abandon just about every down and caring about the guy next to you. Now, what Art Shell is also very pleased about with the way his defense has played. They lead the NFL in points allowed. I think that's the only meaningful stat on the defensive side of the ball. They put pressure on the quarterback, and they score on defense as well, Skip. And talking to these Raider players, it's a comfortable, confident group. You know, you talked about emotion, and there are those, and I'm one of them, who say about the Buffalo Bills, sometimes they're too emotional. Am I right? Well, I think it's difficult to be up at emotional peak 16 games for the year, and that has been the Bills' problem. They played well for 2 weeks, and they played lousy for 2 weeks. And I think the key in the NFL is to be able to win when you aren't at your emotional peak. You aren't playing well, and that happened just last week against the Denver Broncos. Really a game they should have lost, but this blocked field goal by Nate Odoms turned the game around. They were trailing by 3 scores. Cornelius Bennett returns it for 80 yards and a touchdown. And then on the next series, Elway threw the interception to Leonard Smith after the tip ball. And again, as I said, the Bills should have lost one. And that's what good football teams have to do. It's Skip, to talking to some of these Bills this week, I think they are emotionally charged. They know this is a big game. They know people are watching them. And they know that the Raiders are one of the best teams in the AFC. So they have a lot to show tonight. And we're about ready to go. The Raiders have won the toss and will receive. There's Marv Levy, the coach of the Buffalo team. Another guy who used to be a radio television announcer, so in a way you have to root for him. And Art Shell, what a delightful guy. Really enjoyed visiting with him last night, and he's a firm believer in all that Raider tradition and attitude. And so far it's worked. He's undefeated. There's a look at the capacity crowd, and there's the situation. The wind was whipping around here close to 30 miles an hour yesterday. It's much better today, but it could be a factor. You've played here, haven't you, Pat? Oh, yeah, and generally when I played here a number of years ago, it was really windy. And yesterday in the stadium, it was windy. But today, it's absolutely perfect. And I was talking to some of the Raider coaches, particularly on offense. They're delighted they don't have to throw into a 30 or 40 mile an hour wind tonight. One thing the Raiders have to battle tonight is the crowd here. The acoustics of this stadium make it one of the loudest places around. It's almost like a dome, but it isn't. Yeah, or a college stadium. The fans are right on top of the players. So we're ready to go, and we sincerely hope that you'll enjoy it. Ron Brown, Jamie Holland are the deep men for the Raiders, and Scott Norwood will kick it off, and we're about to get it going. Brown is a real sprinter, a Plan B guy out of Arizona State. They got him from the Rams. Holland, a trade from San Diego. He's out of Ohio State. They're on their feet. Here we go. High, short kick. Jamie Holland. 25-yard line. Maybe the 26. Marcus Patton among those in on the stop, an 18-yard return. So the Raiders go to work. Jay Schrader leads them up. Yeah, what Jay Schrader wants to do tonight with his offense is run the football. Bobby Humphrey shredded the Bill defense for 177 yards. And then they have to contain Bruce Smith, the all-pro defensive end from the Bills, who can put an awful lot of pressure on a quarterback. They'll double-team Smith tonight. Marcus Allen is the lone setback. Mervyn Fernandez wide right. Allen straight ahead. About 3 yards to the 28-yard line. Leon Seals out of Jackson State made the stop. If you watched the game or saw the highlights of the game, you know how last week Denver was able to move the ball on the ground against Buffalo. Yeah, and particularly in the first quarter, as you see the graphic. And again, that's what Buffalo want to do. particular have to stay at home. No cutback runs is their goal.
Allen again, nothing there. He's going to be thrown for a loss. Shane Conlon got him back at the 25-yard line. Talley was there as well.
You look at this Bill defense, and in particular Darryl Talley. And I think Darryl Talley is the best linebacker in the NFL that you haven't heard about. But their first series, I think, on defense sets the key for the entire half. And what we have seen this defense do is stuff the Raiders the first 2 plays.
Chris Hale checks into the game. Conlon comes out. Tim Brown is in as an extra wide receiver. Possession play. 3rd and 10. Schrader will put it up. He's got time. He throws. He's got a man. Fernandez at the 48-yard line. 22-yard completion for a first down, and great protection by the Raider offensive line.
Well, you are right. You are absolutely right. It was sensational protection there for Jay Schrader, and you see the big hole right over the middle of the defense. There was a couple of line stunts. The inside tackles went wide, and it created a natural seam for Schrader to drill the ball to Fernandez.
And it also quieted this crowd a little bit. Not that they're quiet, but comparatively speaking, they are.
Yeah, but you can't live against this defense, I think, at 3rd and 10 or 12.
Fernandez wide left. Willie Gault in the slot. The give, Marcus Allen crosses midfield and gets to about the 46-yard line. A pickup of close to 6. Darryl Talley out of West Virginia, the 8-year man, made the stop.
So we've seen Darryl Talley now twice, and what he was saying yesterday, number 56, he said, when we run to the football, we get 3 or 4 blue jerseys around the ball carrier. We are very tough to beat, and that's what we have to do tonight. Chase the ball carrier and the quarterback all over the field.
2nd and 4. Fernandez in motion. Marcus Allen gets outside. First down, 39-yard line. Tackled by Ray Bentley. Ray Bentley made the stop. He's out of Central Michigan, a 5-year man, one of the many good linebackers on this Buffalo team.
Marcus Allen, you know, he's been a tremendous player for these Raiders for an awfully long time, and people talk about vision as for running backs, and I think it's more vision is really more a feel or intuition of where people are. It's not necessarily a sight thing, but it's a sense of where people are on the field, and Marcus Allen has that sense.
Willie Gault splits left, Fernandez right. Smith carries the ball, gets about 2. Bruce Smith in on the stop along with Jeff Wright. And a flag and a penalty, and it looks like it's going to be against the Raiders. Is our referee.
You know, you look at Art Shell, and Art Shell, the youngest head football coach in the National Football League, and the first.
Number 88 on the offense, still first down.
Ethan Horton, the tight end, called for holding.
We'll talk about Art Shell, and really much was made about him being the first black head football coach in the NFL, but I don't think he got the job because he was black. I think he got the job because he was silver. He understands what it is being a Raider and the tradition they have.
Fernandez right. Gault left. Schrader. Screen pass. Marcus Allen gets one block. 45, 40-yard line. Cornelius Bennett, whose nickname is the Biscuit, makes the stop, pick up a 9.
Yeah, we talked about people chasing. Watch number 97. First he rushes the passer, but he never quits. And then he gets blocked, he's down, but he doesn't stop there. He's the guy that makes the tackle on Marcus Allen. And that's the kind of effort that, again, Darryl Talley was talking about on defense. That's what this Bill team needs to do. They need Cornelius Bennett, Darryl Talley, and Bruce Smith running all over the field tonight.
2nd and 11 from the 40-yard line. Tim Brown is in. They go with 3 wide receivers. Brown splits left. Gault in the slot to that side. Schrader to throw. Again, he has a lot of time. Again, he has a man. Again, it is Mervin Fernandez. A gain of 20. Same pattern. Again, great protection. And Remember, Buffalo has allowed points on every first drive this year.
Yeah, and again, it starts with protection. And I guess it's no surprise when your head coach was a great offensive lineman that that's where you start with offense. But and the Raiders run routes a little bit deeper than most teams in the NFL, Skip. And that's why it looked like Fernandez was so wide open, because they run their in routes about 7 yards deeper than most teams. So if you get protection, there's big holes in a zone defense.
Steve Smith checks into the backfield with Marcus Allen. First down, 23-yard line. Allen tries to get outside. Flags fly down at the 17-yard line. Might have been a face mask. Shane Conlon made the stop, but let's check the flag. Again, Buffalo indicates it's against the Raiders. Again, it's holding. Second 10-yard penalty against the Raiders in this drive. They overcame the first one. Well, look at that. The Bengals had a 21-0 lead. The Rams came back to tie them, but Cincinnati won the game
Holding
in
during the
overtime.
run. Number 35 of the offense.
Smith is called for the penalty. Jim Breach, a 44-yard field goal to win that game.
That was a fun game. Jeez.
With all the stuff going on surrounding the Bengals, they really focused in, didn't they?
Yeah, that was remarkable. Give Sam Weiss some credit because they had all sorts of things surrounding them. Middle of a 5-game road trip, a locker room problem, and they come away with a big win.
So Schrader has some ground to make up again. Again, he's got time. He's got a man. Can he hang on? No, incomplete. Ethan Horton, the tight end, made a good effort, but he couldn't hang on. Leonard Smith, who's a hard hitter, separated him from the ball.
Yeah, that is a nice play by Leonard Smith because Ethan Horton had this ball momentarily. This ball was well thrown again. Not much pressure on Schrader, but he's going to catch it. But it's there late. He goes for the tackle and then strips the ball with his right hand. That is good defensive play. And Leonard Smith is known as a great run supporter, but there he does a terrific job of defending on Ethan Horton.
Schrader, by the way, that's his first miss. He's 3 out of 4 for 48 yards. Marcus Allen, the lone setback. Fernandez wide right. Tim Brown back in there. Schrader calls an audible. Calls a timeout. He can't hear. A little confusion and a lot of noise. It'll be 2nd and 20. When we come back to Rich Stadium, we have no score. A 2nd and 20. Confronting the Los Angeles Raiders. The ball is at the Buffalo 33-yard line. This drive, 8 plays, 61 yards offense, but minus 20 on 2 flags.
Well, the Raiders are obviously off to a very good start. They have never been 5-0. And really, I think if they go 5-0, in my mind, they're virtually assured of a playoff spot, quite honestly, because they can go 5-6 the rest of the season, play under 500 ball, have won 10 games, and to get into the playoffs one way or another.
Second down, 20 yards to go.
And it is a new attitude. Art Shell, and Kenny Stabler was talking about it on the pregame show. Art Shell has instilled this team with an entirely different new attitude.
Fernandez wide right, Brown in the slot left. Galt split left. Marcus Allen, the running back. Brown in motion. Oh, incomplete. Brown leaped high. He couldn't get it. Neither could Kirby Jackson. Out of Mississippi State, the corner who was covering on the play.
I'll tell you, what I really liked here about Jay Schrader was the fact that he wasn't ever concerned about the rush. He had Leonard Smith rushing him, but he just calmly got out of the way, looked downfield, wasn't looking at the rush like a lot of quarterbacks do when they've got people around them in their face. He was looking downfield the whole time, and that's the way you come up with big plays.
3rd and 20.
Can't afford a sack here to take him out of field goal range. There's the audible because of the crowd noise.
Brown in motion. Pressure. Throws incomplete. It was intended for Fernandez. He was double covered on the play, and the Bills have held. If they kick a field goal, it would be from 50.
Yeah, that was a real good pressure there by Bruce Smith, number 78. The thing about Bruce Smith is he has like 3 different gears. He has a burst, then a second burst, and a third burst. And you have to be able to block Bruce Smith on all 3 of those. It's Bennett on one side, Bruce Smith on the other. Remember, they blocked this field goal, blocked the field goal last week.
It'll be from 50. Jaegers 4 out of 5. No. He was short and to the left. So for the first time this year, the Bills have held as their opponents handle the ball first. We'll be back after this.
Let us decide how great it is, would you?
I'll tell you in the next commercial. Jim Kelly brings his team out from the 33-yard line. No score, first quarter. Thurman Thomas breaks a tackle. Gets to the 38-yard line. Tom Benson finally made the stop.
Well, what Jim Kelly wants to do with this offense tonight is to run Thomas the ball, run him from tackle to tackle, and then use him as a pass receiver on 3rd down. He's their leading receiver. And Jim Kelly also believes he can get the ball deep tonight to James Lofton.
Andre Reed splits wide left. The give, Thomas again across the 40. He's short of the first down, stopped it around the 41-yard line. Benson in on the stop again.
We talked a little bit about the Raider defense at the top. This Raider defense really has been terrific this year, putting pressure on quarterbacks with 17 sacks. They've scored 3 times. They're playing very well together. They've got a nice blend of talent between some just kind of solid players and then some great players like Greg Townsend.
Kenneth Davis in the backfield with Mueller. 3rd down. About a yard. Second man through. I don't think so. Looked like the Raiders held. Kenneth Davis really got racked up. It was Ricky Ellison, the middle linebacker. He's a story unto himself, who made the stop.
Yeah, that was a terrific stop by Ricky Ellison, number 50, right in the middle of your screen. Now watch his head as he kind of reads the block. He follows the fullback's block, and then comes in and gets some help inside by number 54, Tom Benson, and then Ellison finishes him off. Good team defense between Ellison and Benson.
Tell you what, I think Buffalo got a tremendous break on the spot here. Let's look and see. They may have picked it up.
It certainly didn't look like it at first, did it?
Boy, is it close. It's about an inch short.
Yeah. Of course, obviously all the fans wanted to go for it, but I think you have to punt at this stage of the game. The defense has played relatively well this year, and tonight you punt the ball away.
Tim Brown, the deep man. Rick Tootin will kick it. As you can see, punting problems have plagued the Bills this year.
Well, they've changed punters, actually, with Rick Tootin. And generally, I think some of that is because of the winds that punters and kickers face in this stadium.
Tim Brown out of Notre Dame is the deep man. And a fine kick returner. He stands at the 16. Tootin will kick from the 32. Pretty good kick. He sends Brown back to the 10-yard line. 25. Hurdles one man. 32-yard line. Great return. And good field position. 48-yard punt by Tootin, but a 22-yard return by Brown. Still no score. Will be Steve Smith are the setbacks. Fernandez wide left. From the 31, the Raiders' second possession. We are scoreless. Marcus Allen breaks out of there. 45-yard line. Cornelius Bennett made the tackle, but not until a 14-yard advance and a first down. Allen now with 27 yards and 5 carries.
Watch the block here by Steve Wright as he pulls through and traps out here. And again, Marcus Allen is just going to follow the block of Montoya, 65. It's actually Montoya, number 65, who blocked Leonard Smith. And then Allen just kind of hugged that pull block for the first down.
Schrader to throw. Goes long. Fernandez made a leaping catch at the 26-yard line. Great play, 26-yard pickup. Urban Fernandez with his third reception.
Yeah, he is having a night. And Skip, I think the underthrown deep pass is one of the most effective plays in professional football. And I think the Steelers actually, it used to be a design play for them in the 70s. Because the defensive back doesn't know where the ball is generally. Just the receiver does. And oftentimes the defensive back will overrun it, just as he did there. And the receiver sees the ball and comes back for it.
Fernandez now 3 catches, 68 yards.
I don't know whether he had actual possession and control when he came down.
They mark it at the 26-yard line. Allen. Great move. He only got about 2 yards, but he had to work very diligently even to do that.
Well, you know, I think Marcus Allen is a big key for this Raider team this year. Yes, they're off to the 4-0 start, and yes, Bo Jackson comes to this team a week from now. But remember, Allen was injured most of last year when Bo Jackson came in, so there's no real rush for Bo Jackson now because Allen has played very well. He and Greg Bell have generally shared the position this year.
Second down, 7 yards to go. Fernandez wide right, Galt left. They haven't thrown to Willie Galt yet, and they won't now. Allen fights his way forward across the 20. Down close to the 15, close to the first down. Leon Seals made the stop. 7 carries, 36 yards for Allen.
Well, you mentioned they haven't thrown the ball to Willie Galt, but it's a process that Art Shell and Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, and the right go through. They'll throw the ball to Fernandez until you take them away. Then as soon as you do that, they'll throw the ball deep to Willie Galt.
It's 3rd and short. Andy Parker is checked in, and Fernandez out. 3rd and 1 from the 17. Marcus Allen, first down, 10-yard line. Leonard Smith on the stop, but he got the first down with ease, and this is the way Denver ran the ball against Buffalo early last week.
And just what Art Shell told us last night was we feel we can run the ball inside. And it was the right side of the offensive line that time. Max Montoya, Steve Wright, that came off the ball and created a little bit of a crease there for Marcus Allen and that vision that we were talking about, that feel for a hole.
Are they ever glad to have Max Montoya?
Oh, man.
Steve Smith is the lone setback. Allen is split left. Just outside the 10-yard line. Touchdown. Willie Galt. Like we said, they haven't thrown to him, but now they do.
Well, and also like we were talking about, it's a process that these guys go through, and it's fun when you're an offensive coordinator and you set up a game plan and everything works, and that's what's happening. They throw the ball to Fernandez 2 or 3 times over the middle. They force you to take them away, and then when you do, you come right back to Willie Galt for the touchdown. That's nice offense.
So first blood is drawn by the visitor, but this one is a long way from being over. Jeff Gossett will hold. Jeff Jager will kick. It's a 7-0 ball game. We have 3:35 remaining in quarter number 1. Don Smith and Al Edwards are the deep men. Jeff Jager will kick it out.
She's on that commercial a lot, isn't she?
Seems to be. Boy, that is a high kick. Don Smith breaks it up. He'll be caught from behind at the 40-yard line. 28-yard return. Sam Grady, who can fly, may have saved a touchdown. Speaking of touchdowns, I'm not so sure that every play was up to snuff on that Los Angeles drive. Here's the scoring drive. 6 plays, 69 yards. But one of those plays is open to question.
Yeah, we were concerned that the throw to Fernandez wasn't really a catch, and I don't think it was.
Thurman Thomas is the lone setback. Good field position for Buffalo. Thomas got 2. Here's the play we're talking about.
Yeah, remember in that drive, they had one throw down the sideline to Mervin Fernandez where it was an underthrown deep ball, but he doesn't have control there. One foot still doesn't have control. His right foot was out of bounds, and he never had possession and control inbounds. But what the Raiders did very quickly was snap the ball for the next play so they couldn't have review.
You betcha. 2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Andre Reed wide right. Rather wide left. James Lofton right. Thurman Thomas squirts forward across the 45-yard line. But it'll be 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, 3rd and 4, and this is where Thurman Thomas has been an unbelievable receiver. And Art Shell said last night, on 3rd and 4, we have to take Thurman Thomas out of the game. If it means double teaming him, we'll have to do that. But they're going to start with Elvis Patterson generally guarding Thurman Thomas, the nickelback, number 43.
He has 20 catches, 128 yards on the year. The little shovel pass. Thomas dives across midfield, first down. Boy, that's a scary play, but it's fun when it works.
Yeah. And that's a nice call. It's kind of a half run, half pass. And it's 3rd and 4. You get rushers running upfield. You have a guy who obviously can catch the ball in traffic in Thurman Thomas. And a lot of backs who don't run this successfully just don't have the kind of hands to run this inside. And then you only need the 4 yards to pick it up. So that's a nice call by Jim Kelly.
And you saw Jerry Robinson make the stop, and it's a first down at the 49-yard line. We're down to 1.5 minutes left in the quarter. Play action. Kelly has time. Threw it very poorly and incomplete. It was intended for Jamie Mueller. Ricky Ellison was right there with him, and Kelly might have thrown that away because he was well covered.
Jim Kelly, I think, is a guy who is maturing. I mean, I think he's had some emotional outbursts on this team a year ago, but when you talk to his teammates, they say, hey, he is maturing. Between him and James Lofton, they're actually providing the leadership that they believe this offense needs. It's a different kind of year, a different kind of Jim Kelly than they had a year ago.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Mueller and Thomas in the backfield. Flag. Mueller pulls his way to the 40-yard line. Looked like the Raiders jumped offside. Jamie Mueller out of Benedictine. A 9-yard pickup, and if we're right and the Raiders were offside, we'll see what the Bills choose to do. They are short of the first down. It's either 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 5. That's up to the Bills.
I think you take 3rd and 1, just like Marv Levy said.
Offside, number 93 on the defense. That penalty is declined.
Greg Townsend jumped a little soon.
Yeah, Jamie Mueller, number 41, is beginning to run like he did a couple of years ago. Watch when he hits number 45. Right there, Mike Haden. Well, I remember Mike Haden sat down last week with an injured neck, and that's not going to help. A few more hits like that, and you become a soprano.
You do? 3rd and 1. Mueller and Kenneth Davis are the running back. He's going to throw for it. He avoids the blitz. Long down the field for his tight end, broken up and intercepted. It was intended for McKellar. Eddie Anderson made the play.
That ball was just in the air too long. Terrific call on 3rd and 1. He had him open for a while. The ball looked like it just hung up in the air because he had Keith McKellar, number 84, tight end, down the middle. Now, the rhythm was thrown up or was upset because of the rush. But because it hung up, Eddie Anderson had enough time to come back and make a play. But that should have been a Bill touchdown.
They get the ball to the Raiders at the 1. They say his impetus did not carry him into the end zone.
Yeah, that's a break for the Bills, and that's one Jim Kelly knows they should have scored on.
Well, now what do you do if you're the Raiders?
Well, last week they went deep. in this situation.
The crowd is in a frenzy. They're on their feet here in Buffalo. And now they're going to review this, I believe. The question is whether or not his impetus carried him into the end zone.
Exactly right. And Eddie Anderson, the free safety, really makes a nice play. He comes down on the 1-yard line. I don't know, it looked like when his knee was down, it actually looked like the ball was in the end zone. Today, when his knee came down, it looked like the ball was in the end zone, in which case it would have been a touchback. And one more look here.
After review by the replay official, it is ruled that intercepting momentum, first down on the 1-yard line.
The play stands at the 1-yard line. Chuck Heberling is our replay official.
Yeah, they say it has to be clear and convincing, and to me, that should be a touchback.
Steve Smith and now Greg Bell are the running backs. Bell, a former Bill. Smith. Boy, that's a big play. He gets out to the 4-yard line. It's not a big gain. Cornelius Bennett on the stop, and now they've got at least a little breathing room. 2nd and 7.
Thus far in this game, Art Shell's offensive line has really done a beautiful job. They've protected for Schrader when he needed it, and they've run the ball in situations like that, particularly on the right side. They're following Max Montoya and Steve Wright on the right side of the offense.
Bell and Smith, the running back. 2nd and 7. 10 seconds left in the quarter. They hand it off again. He slips and falls, loses a yard. It was Bell. They got him in a trade from the Rams. The quarter comes to a close. It'll be 3rd and about 8 yards to go for the Raiders when the 2nd quarter gets underway from Buffalo. According to the board, it's really a little better than that. And the Raiders are buried deep in their own territory after the interception.
And this is, I think, a very big play for the Bill defense. And if you flip it over, the Raider offense, what Jay Schrader has done this year is not turn the ball over very much. He's only thrown a couple of interceptions, and he hasn't taken many sacks. And as well as his defense is playing, you don't want the sack for the safety. You don't want to throw the interception.
Steve Smith is the lone setback. See how they play it here. Hand it off. Smith breaks out. First down. 21-yard line. Boy, that hurts the Bills. A 17-yard pickup. And their offensive line just blew him off the ball.
Yeah, and again, it's the right side, Skip, of that offensive line. Watch, again, it's Montoya 65, Steve Wright. Montoya just kind of walls his guy off. Wright knocks his guy out. And then Steve Smith, and when it's a pass rush down, a lot of times pass rushing defensive ends come upfield. You run inside them, and you have a naturally large hole.
The Raiders have rushed 11 times for 62 yards, an average of 5.5. Greg Bell and Steve Smith, the setback. Smith again bangs his way to the 25. Shane Conlon among those on the stop, and emotions run high down on the field.
Well, that's a nice play by Shane Conlon, number 58, the inside linebacker for the Bills right there. And he's a guy who held out most of camp, and they say he's just getting back into the feel of things, just getting back into the pace of the game. You practice and you come out and on Wednesdays and Thursdays and you think you're going through it, but it's not like the tempo of a game, and they're expecting him to play well tonight.
Fernandez and Galt both split left. Now Fernandez goes in motion. 2nd and 5. Bell, nothing there. He got perhaps a yard or 2. Leonard Smith made the stop. Look at that.
Yeah, it's total domination really by the Raiders. I think what we've seen thus far is the Raider defense being as good as was billed, and the offensive line of the Raiders have been terrific tonight. 3rd and a long 2. Terry Rubisky on the right with the headset, the offensive coordinator for Art Shell.
Marcus Allen checks back in. He's the lone setback. Possession play. Chris Hale made the stop.
You know, I think Marcus Allen has this burst. We talked about certain players, Bruce Smith having it, defensive players have it, receivers have it, and he just has that burst when he feels just the slightest or smallest of crease. He just turns on those afterburners, gets the juice right through that hole. He's not going to outrun a lot of people for 60 or 70 yards, but very quick in that 2 or 3 yard area.
Marcus Allen out for a rest. Greg Bell back in. Smith with a carry, not this time. Bruce Smith says hello.
It is a warm hello. Bruce Smith, I think, is one of the very few defensive players that can dominate a game. I think maybe he and Lawrence Taylor are the only two. There's some great defensive players in the league, but only Bruce Smith and Lawrence Taylor can take control of a game.
Marcus Allen checks back in. He has 60 yards and 9 carries as a part-time back. Andre Reed wide left. Allen the lone setback. 2nd and 10. Allen stays in the block. Schrader complete. The ball is to the 42-yard line. Willie Gault the reception. Nate Odom's the stop.
Jay Schrader is just a different quarterback this season. You know, up until last season, Jay had the accuracy of your local weatherman, but he is throwing the ball right on the numbers of these guys. And the interesting thing about the Raiders, they run those patterns just a little bit deeper than most teams do, and I think it can be somewhat at times disconcerting to a defensive back. They're used to a receiver breaking a route at 14 yards. The Raiders go 18 to 20.
Greg Bell splits wide left. Steve Smith, the lone running back. Oh, he dropped it. Tim Brown had it hit him right in the chest, and he dropped the ball. And a sizable gain is thus nullified.
And Tim Brown's a receiver they want to get the ball to more. They've got some terrific receivers in Gault and Fernandez who start. Tim Brown is their 3rd receiver coming off a knee injury. They want to get him the ball as much as they can tonight, particularly on 3rd downs.
You know, watching the game last week and then watching tapes of it, it's eerie how much the Raiders in this first half remind you of Denver here last week. Here's the 10th play of the drive upcoming. 2nd and 10 from the 41. Fernandez in motion. Bell fights across the 40 down to the 38. Again, they ran right. Bruce Smith and Ray Bentley made the stop. Bentley's the guy who writes children's books about Darby the dinosaur.
We've got some different characters on this team. Ray Bentley, number 50, who shares the inside linebacker. And there's the books. Darby the dinosaur. Actually sold them out. Had a second publication of them here in New York. And they are distributed nationally. And he's writing his 3rd.
Darby looks a lot like our producer, Ned Simon.
He's got the Alice Cooper look with the makeup there.
My point exactly. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Going long. Oh, he couldn't get there, Willie Gault.
You know, even if you don't get the ball to Willie Gault there, I think just the threat of throwing the ball deep sets up all sorts of other possibilities for the Raiders. Now, Willie Gault ought to be able to catch 3 or 4 out routes now once he fakes deep.
So into punt is Jeff Gossett. His longest 54 yards this year. He's out of Eastern Illinois. They got him in a trade with the Oilers.
This is one you just can't punt this into the end zone.
Chris Hale is the deep man. He angles for the corner, and he's got it. But let's see where they mark the football. It will be at the 13-yard line. 27-yard punt and no return. So the Bills will finally get their ball handled with host Fred Hickman for all the scores and highlights from Week 6, followed at a special kickoff time of 7:30 Eastern Time for the NFC battle between the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears. Stadium show at 7. Rams and Bears 7:30 only on TNT. Bills first down from their 14-yard line. And Jim Kelly will throw complete. Andre Reed breaks the tackle, but is dragged down at the 21-yard line. Ricky Ellison on the stop, along with Jerry Robinson.
Andre Reed over the years has really caught a lot of balls from the Buffalo Bills. 88 catches a year ago. That was only his 16th of this season. They're spreading the ball around a little bit more than they did a year ago. Between Reed and Thurman Thomas and James Lofton. But no wide receiver has caught a touchdown this year. 3 touchdowns, all the tight ends for the Bills.
James Lofton splits wide right. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. Jamie Mueller goes in motion. Now he sets up in the backfield. Second and about 3. Thomas close to a first down. I don't know if he got there. Bob Golick with the nose tackle. A man whose career someday will be in professional wrestling makes the stop.
That's what he hopes. Mike Golick, number 79, came here just to play nose tackle. And all he has to do is fight off centers, get a hand or two on attack on the running back, and wait for some help. And Golick has done that incredibly well over his 11-year career. One of the few guys who actually loves playing nose tackle. Most guys get sentenced there, but he loves it.
Thurman Thomas splits wide right. Carey to throw. Down the middle. It's complete. Andre Reed again. And he's down at the 34-yard line. A 9-yard pickup. So Buffalo begins to roll. Benson on the stop, as you see.
Tom Benson is a linebacker that the Raiders are really happy about, because they ask him, because the Raiders play so much man-for-man coverage. As you're going to see the hit on Andre Reed right there. And again, guys flying all over the field. But Tom Benson is the guy, they match up on backs a lot. They feel that he has the kind of speed to be able to do that.
He's a Plan B guy out of New England a year ago. So it's second down and a yard to go. Al Edwards checks into the game, splits right. The give, Mueller, first down, 38-yard line. Jamie Mueller picks it up. Greg Townsend on the stop, but they moved the chains, and Buffalo beginning to move a little bit for the first time tonight. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Only 7 minutes left in the half.
Well, I think offense really, particularly against a very good defense like the Raiders have, is a matter of play selection and then executing. If you can get a couple of completions over the middle, then it opens all sorts of inside running games for Mueller and Thurman Thomas. And Kelly is just beginning to get unwind throwing the ball.
The kid, Thurman Thomas, he's got nowhere to go, and he's wrestled down at the 39-yard line. There's Benson again. Boy, he's having a big night.
He's one of those players that really only is appreciated by his teammates. He's not going to make the Pro Bowl. He's not going to make All-Pro, but one of the solid guys you need on a defense. What you want is a couple of great stars, guys like Greg Townsend who can rush the passer, Jerry Robinson, Bob Golick, and then you want some real steady players like Tom Benson.
Thurman Thomas, 6 rushes, 21 yards. They've been able to shut him down tonight. Jamie Mueller is the lone setback. Thomas splits wide right. Kelly to throw, has time, has him. Oh, it's knocked down. Boy, that was a heck of a play. It was made by Lionel Washington, intended for James Lofton.
You know, when you play the Raiders, you know what you're going to get on defense. You're going to get bump and run, man for man. And they have this little trail technique that makes you think that you're open for a while. It looked like Lionel Washington was beaten there by James Lofton. But it's their technique. They run underneath and behind the receiver, and right at the last moment, they'll knock the ball away, strip the receiver.
Bump and run, man to man, that's been their way, right?
Yeah, for 20 years it's been that way.
3rd down, 9 yards to go. Don Smith checks in the game in the backfield. Kelly out of the shotgun. Down the middle, complete. Let's see where they mark it. Andre Reed, the reception. He may be short of the first down.
Yeah.
It's going to be close. But it looks like he's about a half-yard short, and the Bills will give it up.
Yeah, again, you wonder why on 3rd down he runs the route short, and I believe a lot of it is how much the receivers are getting pushed around and bumped at the line of scrimmage, and I think you lose perspective when you're against a bunch bump and run defense and tight coverage. Sometimes you forget you need to go that extra step.
Tootin will kick it. Brown will try to return it. The kick heads for the sideline. Brown makes the catch. Fumbles the ball. I think the Bills have it. They do. Near the 15
Steve Tasker down on coverage. And remember, last week against Denver, the offense wasn't playing well, and a special teams play turned it all around when they blocked a field goal. That time Tasker knocks it loose, and I believe it was Chris Hale who made the recovery.
Let's check it from this angle. There's the hit. There's the ball.
Yeah, it's Chris Hale.
But it was Tasker who knocked it loose. Well, here's a great chance for the Bills. Boy, it's like last week.
Yeah, the same scenario.
Well, they'll be tested here, the Raiders will. Thomas, wide right. Not much there. 12-yard line, perhaps. In on the stop for the Raiders, Mike Haden.
He thinks he thought there was a fumble.
You can hear him saying that ball was out. But as is the case in most sports, that argument is destined to be lost.
Yeah.
2nd and 8. Lofton wide right. Kelly wants to throw for it. End zone, knocked away. Haden again. It was intended for Andre Reed, but Haden was Johnny on the spot once more.
Yeah, here's what happened on the previous play that Mike Haden was complaining about. Thurman Thomas was kind of, and there's the fumble right there, and Mike Haden is right because the ball was out way before his momentum was stopped or he was down. That should have been a Raider turnover.
So the breaks have evened up. Al Edwards checks into the game. It's 3rd and 8. Shotgun for Kelly. He's got time. End zone.
Oh, yes.
Touchdown. Another underthrown pass. Andre Reed, the reception.
Yeah, some players just make receptions even when they're well covered. And that is just a sensational catch by Andre Reed. His ability to adjust to the ball is something special. The Raiders were complaining that it was an offensive interference, but that's one terrific catch by Reed.
Frank Wright holds. Scott Norwood kicks. And we have a tie game. It's 7-7. 4:09 remaining in a very hotly contested first half. We'll kick it off. 4:09 left in the half, and we are tied. Holland is the closest to you. And there's the kick. And Holland at the 14. Flags fly, 28-yard line, probably an illegal block, 14-yard return, and the Raiders may have bad field position again. Let's check with Red Cashin. That's what it is, illegal block against the Raiders, so they will be set well back. And again, they have very poor field position, though they have dominated this first half for the most part.
Run back, number 58 of receivers, half the distance to the goal.
A.J. Jefferson, the guilty party. We'll be back right after this from
He played with Fred Bolitnikoff, one of the receivers, receiver coach for the Raiders as well.
Willie Gault wide left. Nothing there.
This is a real important, there's a late flag there, defensive series for the Bills. 3:55 remaining in the half. You got the Raiders backed up. Guys like Cornelius Bennett and Smith and Darryl Talley have to make some plays on this drive.
Greg Bell got very little. Face mask is the call against Buffalo. They didn't need that. It comes with 3:55 remaining in the half. As you can see, or as you're about to see, the Raiders have had an awful time as far as field position is concerned in this game. Their average start is from the 17-yard line, though they've dominated the game.
By the defense, still first down.
And that tells you it is good special teams, quite honestly, by the Bills. Good on punt coverage, good on kickoff coverage, and there's been a couple of penalties, too, that the Raiders have had on kickoff returns.
The Bills have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. The Raiders have 2. It's 1st and 5 from the 15. Willie Gault wide left. Steve Smith is the lone sunback. Smith pulls his way to about the 18-yard line. Leon Seals again made the stop. So the clock ticks with 3:26 left. And it's 2nd and short for the Raiders.
So you talk so much about Bruce Smith, but Leon Seals, number 96, on the other side, the other defensive end, has to make some plays because Smith gets double teamed so much. If you have effort like this that Seals had on that play, you have a chance of winning some games. That's tremendous determination by Seals.
He may have enough for the first down. They're going to measure. But as we told you, it's going to be 2nd and short.
Talking about Leon Seals, his coaches were saying that he's one of those players that really doesn't take downs off. Plays hard every down. Not upset that Bruce Smith and Darryl Talley and Shane Conlon get all the ink. It's his first year as a starter, and he wants to make the most of it.
What do you do now, Pat Haden? You're a former quarterback. 2nd and inches. Do you air one out?
No, I would get the first down here, this part of the field. I think it's important field position here is you get the first down and you keep your drive alive.
Gault comes wide left. Bell and Smith now the running back. We haven't seen much of Marcus Allen lately. Play action. Schrader all along. Fernandez midfield. Gets out of bounds at the 47-yard line. 34-yard pickup.
No, that's why I didn't make that call, but
I would have never said that.
I know you were thinking about it, but give Art Shell some credit here and give Willie Gault some credit. Because what you can't see here is the free safety is taken out of the play by the speed of Willie Gault. He goes right there in the bottom of your screen, and what's left is Mervyn Fernandez over the middle. It's the respect of Willie Gault that left a wide open lane for Fernandez.
4 catches, 102 yards for Fernandez. First down for the Raiders. Bell and Smith, the running back. Smith, not much. 45-yard line, and that's all.
Yeah, remember earlier, Skip, we were talking about Willie Gault, and they set things up, and just the threat of throwing the ball deep. And that's what happened on that pass play. Willie Gault, the threat of him deep, cleared out 2 men, and Mervyn Fernandez is having an incredible night because of that.
And if Fernandez catches enough, then they're going to be suckered in, and then
you have a chance to go deep to Gault again.
See if we get a play away before our 2-minute warning. 2nd and 9 at the 45. Bell and Smith the setback. Nope. Before they snap it, the 2-minute warning is upon us, so it will be 2nd and 9 from the 45-yard line. Raiders with the ball in 9 at the 45 for the Raiders. Bell and Smith still the setback. 2 minutes left in the half. Schrader. Plenty of time down the sideline, incomplete. He overthrew it. It was intended for Bell.
I think it's interesting, and it tells you something about the Raiders. Still in a conventional formation in this 2-minute drill. And you know, we're in an era of no-huddle offenses and run-and-shoots and matchup football. But the Raiders are a little bit contrarians. They've played the same football for 20 years. Basic fundamental football. Run the ball, throw the deep ball 4 or 5 times a game, and get after you on defense. That's how they've won.
Excuse me, Pat. The protection that Schrader has gotten has been outstanding.
Well, they're doubling up on Bruce Smith, and nobody else is making the play.
Tim Brown checks into the game, goes wide left, now starts in motion. It's 3rd and 9. Schrader, pressure, goes long, down the sideline, incomplete. It was intended for Fernandez, the #1 draft choice out of Fresno State. James Williams broke it up. He was in on their nickel package.
Well, this is one of the few times that the Bills had some pressure. It was Cornelius Bennett, number 97, against Steve Wright, who got to the outside, but just a little too late. Again, Schrader could feel the pressure and got the ball off, and it's easy to throw a deep pass early, and that's what he did there.
Jeff Gossett will punt it to Chris Hale. Hale stands at his 10-yard line. The Bills don't appear to be coming after this one. They send one man, but he gets the kick away, angled for the corner, and drills it out of bounds. They will mark it at the 12-yard line.
That's another good punt by Jeff Gossett.
33-yard punt, no return. We'll be back for the final 1:43. Right after 3 remaining in a tied first half. Raiders have yet to allow a point in an opponent's 2-minute drill all year.
Yeah, so the prevent defense really has been a prevent defense for the Raiders.
Kelly play action down the middle, has it tight end. It's intercepted. 20, 15, Anderson. Did he get there? He's out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. 31-yard return by Eddie Anderson. It was intended for Keith McKellar.
Well, that's the second interception for Eddie Anderson tonight. And when you're asking a center fielder to do is make plays like that, he's got to come up and stuff the run and be concerned about Thurman Thomas. But then you have him watch the eyes and the read of Jim Kelly. And that's all he did. He came all the way across from the other side of the field because he felt the tight end was going to be the receiver, and then he made a nice catch. That's 2 terrific plays by Eddie Anderson, both when Jim Kelly was trying to get the ball to Keith McKellar. It was actually Kelly who made the tackle.
At the 2-yard line, they have 2 timeouts and 1:32 left. Bell and Smith, the running backs. Bell, no. 1-yard line thrown back by a host of tacklers. Bailey and Conlon among them.
Yeah, I think defense down here inside the 5-yard line, it's nothing but attitude. And who wants it more? Who's going to get lower? Who's going to get their shoulder pads low? That's the defensive line coach, Chuck Dickerson, of the Buffalo Bills, who has a great attitude about life. Chuck Dickerson, he said, I was born to butt heads and bite people's faces off. Just a wonderful guy.
And he also makes macrame projects. Sort of a Marcus Allen back in the game. Along with Smith. Allen has been known to dive for it, but this time he splits right. Schrader rolls right. End zone. Incomplete and almost intercepted.
Well, that should have been picked off.
Kirby Jackson was there, but it went off his hand.
Yeah, I think actually Carlton Bailey, the linebacker, got in front of him. Otherwise, Kirby Jackson makes the interception there, Skip. Number 47 is Jackson. But watch 54, the inside linebacker, Bailey. No, yeah, they just kind of tipped it away. But I still believe that ball should have been picked off.
Give Cornelius Bennett some credit for the pressure on the quarterback. It's 3rd down with 40 seconds left. Smith and Allen, the running back. No.
Well, yeah, we just talked about defense being a matter of attitude inside the 5-yard line. And this Bill defense just did a terrific job of getting low and stopping Marcus Allen short.
4th down and less than a yard. The officials have called timeout with 24 seconds left. Let's see where they mark that football.
I think the Raiders ought to be calling timeout here too.
I think what they want to do is let it run down to about 3 seconds. So after they do whatever they do, Buffalo will have no time to do anything. And they will call the timeout very soon, or it's a big story. With 2 seconds left. Well, they run it down to 1 second.
Say that The Bills have done a nice job this year of blocking kicks and playing good special teams.
That's how they turned the game around last week.
Nate Odoms did it last week, and they have a rookie named James Williams who blocked 11 punts and kicks in his career in college. He's a rookie #1 draft pick, number 31.
Jeff Jager will kick it.
There's Williams in the middle of the screen. Some guys just have a knack for making plays like that, and James Williams is one of those players.
So here we go. A little confusion on the Buffalo sideline. Now they get their people in the game. A 19-yard try. Gossett will hold. The half is over. And the Raiders use the interception to take the lead.
Good first half.
Oh, a super first half, and more fun and frolic to follow. Coming up, it's the Nissan Halftime Report. We're tied 7-7. Here's a message from your local sponsors.
After the fumbled punt by Tim Brown, Andre Reed in the 13-yard touchdown reception, and then the Anderson interception led to the Raider field goal right before halftime, and that's why we're at 10-7. But it's Art Shell has to be happy with the way his defense is playing, but much like a week ago, the Bills' defense has played well, but the offense really hasn't gotten any sense of rhythm, and largely, I think, because the Raiders have controlled the ball.
Somehow you feel that the 1st and goal at the 2, where the Raiders could only get 3 points in the last minute 43 of the half, might turn out to be the difference in the game. Of course, you never know.
Well, I think you're right, and I think they're going to receive the ball, the Bills are, and this first series, again, sets the tempo for the rest of the half. So this is an important offensive series for Jim Kelly. Remember, he threw the interception right before halftime. It's important for him to kind of show the maturity that his team has been talking about and get his team in scoring position.
Don Smith and Al Edwards are the deep men. Jeff Jager will kick it off. 10-7 the score. The Raiders have the lead. The Bills will get the ball. Sunday Night Football on TNT. The Rams and Bears next week. Again at 7:30 Eastern Time. Here we go. Second half is underway. Edwards a yard deep. Penalty flag is down. It will negate a 32-yard return. Red Cashin.
You know, I bet you there is an illegal block on 50% of the kickoffs we've seen this year.
I was just about to say that. It's almost.
I'm always just 2 steps ahead of you, aren't I?
Yeah, that's the story of my life. You're a Rhodes Scholar.
Just means
I'm me.
Just means I have street sense is all.
Holding during the run back. Number 88 of the receivers. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Pete Metzelaar is the tight end, the guilty party. I can't even get the score right in a 10-7 game, and I'm working with a Rhodes Scholar.
Hang in there. Marv Levy's offensive goals coming into tonight's game were to get the ball to Thurman Thomas, run the ball with Thurman Thomas. He only has 23 yards. They also felt they could get the ball deep to James Lofton. He has not caught the ball yet tonight.
Mueller and Thomas are the setbacks. Lofton splits to the right. Mueller in motion. Now the tight end, McCullough. Thurman Thomas is trapped. Nothing there. He's at perhaps the 8-yard line. Tom Benson with the stop. I know I've said that a lot, but he's had a big night, has Benson. Thurman Thomas has not had a big night. They've held him well in check.
As we said, he's got 25 yards on the night, and I don't think he's caught a ball either as Thurman Thomas. So he's actually caught 1 pass, but the goal for them was to get the ball to Thurman Thomas. And Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator for the Raiders, said this week, we have to stop Thurman Thomas, and they've done that thus far tonight.
Thomas comes out. Kenneth Davis checks in. 2nd and 8. Davis with the ball, and he fights his way across the 10 to the 12-yard line. Benson was in the area again, though he did not make the tackle. Bob Golick did.
I think 4 or 5 third down plays, really games generally turn off those things, Skip. And here you have a situation, opening drive of the second half, the Bills facing third and about 4. This is an important, very important drive for them. A very important down.
Raiders playing this great defense without one of the best, Howie Long, today. Possession play here, 3rd and 4 from the 12. They'll throw for it. They don't have it. He threw it behind him. Terry McDaniel broke it up.
Terry McDaniel is a man who was actually beaten out this year, but he's played well tonight. That ball was actually thrown behind the receiver, Al Edwards, and Jim Kelly really is just not in a rhythm. I don't think they've been on the field enough for him to get into the rhythm.
Brown fumbled a punt in the first half. Stands at his own 43. Sutton kicks it from the 1. Another pretty good kick. Brown's going to let this one bounce, and it goes out of bounds. And the ball is going to be in Buffalo territory when the Raiders take over after a 35-yard punt.
First and 10 Los Angeles at the 47.
Next Sunday from Soldier Field in Chicago, it's the Rams against the Bears on TNT. That kicks off at 7:30 Eastern Time. Then a week from Thursday, a special edition of the NFL on TNT, the Patriots and Dolphins. That will start at 8 o'clock. Both nights get underway with the stadium show at 7. All that here on TNT.
Well, the Dolphins are another surprise team, much like the Raiders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, they had some second half offensively today. Here we go. It's Marcus Allen. Lunging forward to the 43-yard line. Shane Conlon, the middle linebacker out of Penn State, on the stop.
I think one of the things that Art Shell has done for this Raider team, we talked about a new attitude. I think what head coaches can do, the best thing they can do, is create the right environment. The right environment for teams to be successful. And he's done that. He's done that for his quarterback. He's done that for his linemen and this entire team. It's a loose team, but they play hard every down.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Allen and Smith with setbacks. Schrader with an audible. Allen tries the other side. Nothing there. He loses yardage. Bruce Smith on the stop. They're okay when they run right. When they run left, they've had trouble.
Yeah, and that's where they have been successful, running to the right and staying away from Bruce Smith. Now, Bruce Smith gets double teamed by most teams on most plays. But he said yesterday, hey, I need to make plays even when I am double teamed. But she knows he's going to expect that. But other guys have to come forward too. Guys like Cornelius Bennett and Jeff Wright in the defensive line. That time it was just the speed, the burst of Bruce Smith.
Tim Brown checks in as an extra wide receiver. 3rd and 7 as you see. Time complete. First down, 25-yard line. Willie Gault. Nate Odom's on the stop, an 18-yard pickup, the slant, the look in to perfection. Boy, Schrader looks good, doesn't he?
He does. And what you like about Willie Gault is just the burst that he has off the line of scrimmage, even against bump and run. A lot of speed receivers can't avoid the bump, can't avoid the defender, but Willie Gault is able to set guys up and then break underneath them for catches like that.
They mark it at the 26-yard line. Fernandez wide right. Marcus Allen splits left. Steve Smith is the setback. Allen, 20, 18-yard line.
Boy, was there a huge cushion for Marcus Allen there.
Nate Odom's on the stop.
Yeah, Nate Odoms was off him maybe 10, 12 yards, and it was just too easy.
So it's 2nd and 2, and that's what you love to have, those second and short situations. You can do a lot of things.
Well, too, it slows down Bruce Smith a little bit, too. When the Bills can really get after you are those 3rd and 8s when Smith and Cornelius Bennett are coming off the corners. But the Raiders have done a nice job on first down tonight.
2nd and a long 2. Allen, I don't think he got the first down. And the ball may have come loose. Smith in on the stop along with Seal. No fumble. It'll be 3rd down and about a yard and a half.
You know, I think Bruce Smith's reactions and the way he plays can be infectious. He comes up with big plays. He loves to play the game. Say what you will about him, he loves to play the game. And you play virtually anywhere, you know, an empty field, he play. And I think the players around him, their levels increase because of his play.
3rd down, 2 yards to go. Allen, I think he got enough. Let's see where they mark it. It'll depend on the spot. They're close. Leon Seals another tackle, the 4-year man out of Jackson State.
Marcus Allen, they had like the body control of a gymnast. Even the slightest of creases, he'll find a way to get his frame, and he's a tall runner, yet he's able to get the real small openings.
Wasn't it Will McDonough today on NBC that rumored the trade of Allen to the Rams? Well, he knows his stuff. I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good back to deal away.
Yeah, I talked with Marcus Allen right before the game, about 10 minutes before the game, about the report that he'd be traded to the Rams when Bo Jackson came into the team a week from now. He said, hey, I'm very happy as a Raider. I'm going to play hard regardless of what happens, and I can't worry about that. But he also said, hey, I'm not stupid. I'm making a lot of money, and I know something may happen when he comes, but I'm not worried about it right now.
Well, he got just enough for the 1st down. The ball is at the 16-yard line. Allen and Smith again, the running backs. Again, Buffalo can't get their hands on the ball for long. There's Al Davis in the middle of our ISO picture, which you can't see. 1st down for Schrader. Smith cuts back, gets inside the 15.
The way the Bill offense is playing, there's your shot.
Now you can see him too. We want everybody to have an equal chance.
Well, the people in LA are going to be seeing him a lot more, and he selected Art Shell to be his guy because we talked about what is it being a Raider. It's not a matter of just X's and O's. It's a matter of power and explosion and simplicity, and Art Shell knows that. And his players respect him because they realize he was a great player. It wasn't too long ago that he used to dominate defensive ends like Bruce Smith.
Galt left, Fernandez right. Allen, wingback right side. 2nd and 8. Schrader, incomplete. It will be pass interference against the Bills, against Leonard Smith, and a 1st down at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, I thought that was a throwaway by Schrader, too. I don't know if that ball was catchable. Yeah, that's just what Marv Levy's saying. It was 15 yards over his head. That was a throwaway by Schrader.
And you can see Marv Levy has lost it here.
For it to be pass interference, the ball has to be catchable. I think Schrader felt the pressure to just try to get the ball away from a defensive back. That is 3 or 4 yards off his. Leonard Smith said he had his hands on the ball, which is the wrong call.
As you can probably hear, the fans don't think much of the call. You can call it interference, but the pass was high. It's a 1-yard penalty, but more importantly, it's a 1st down. Smith and Allen, the running backs, in the eye. Allen, did he get hit? Bruce Smith was there first.
So was Kirby Jackson. I love to see guys who have reputations as pass rushers, number 78 does, make plays on rundowns. And Bruce Smith and Kirby Jackson do it there. Jackson the corner and Smith defensive end. He is not just a 3rd down player. He'll play you hard on 1st and 2nd down too.
A loss of 3 at 2nd and 13 from just outside the 16. Fernandez wide right. Galt to the left. Again, Marcus Allen is a wingback. Stays in the block. Sling. Incomplete.
top half of Mark Kelso's helmet came off. That is an extra pad that Mark Kelso wears on his helmet.
Wait a minute, are they going to call that complete? I guess they are.
Man, that's an incredible hit, but a beautifully thrown ball by Jay Schrader and a nice catch by Fernandez. And then Kelso, number 38.
That's what I saw, and I thought it was the ball coming out. I apologize.
Kelso has had headache problems for the 5 years in the league. He wears an extra pad on his helmet. And it was just last week that he began to take medication for it. They thought he was going to have to retire.
First and goal at the 3. Allen to the mouth of the goal, but not in.
Mark Kelso is a guy.
By the way, Fernandez, what a great play. I didn't give him credit because I thought he dropped it. My mistake. What a catch he made.
But the Raider coaches were talking to me this week about Mark Kelso, and they said this is a safety that we have a great deal of respect for. Last year he stuck at the Bo Jackson 3 or 4 times. There it's to Mervin Fernandez. And he looks, you know, if he didn't play safety, you think maybe he can carry your groceries out when you're at the supermarket.
This is the 11th play of this drive. Allen, touchdown. It is 16-7. With the extra point forthcoming. Art Shell looks like it's just another day at the office.
Terrific blocking by the right side of this offensive line. Watch in here. Tackles in the right guard. Again, it's Montoya and Steve Wright. And when they've had successful, the fullback makes a nice block, Steve Smith. When they've had success running the football, it's been over Steve Wright and Max Montoya.
The kick is good, and it's a 10-point game. It's 17-7. Los Angeles with just 5:44 left in the third quarter. We'll be back after this from your local 17-7. The kickoff is high and short. Don Smith is tripped up at the 21-yard line. Napoleon McCallum out of the Naval Academy, one of those in on the stop. So the Bills will have the ball when we come back. They need to get it going. James Lofton splits wide right. Kelly to throw, a little swing pass. Thurman Thomas, a screen, and he's across the 30 to the 36-yard line. Enough for a first down. 14-yard pickup.
Only the second catch. Only the second catch by Thurman Thomas, and they need to control the clock because this game has been all the Raiders with regard to time of possession. And that is really a telling statistic tonight. 17-7 the Raiders lead is because the offensive line and the defense have played well.
But again, we go back to last week, and the same kind of thing was true. Denver dominated. I mean, this game is far from over. Denver had dominated the clock in that one.
Who has to be on top?
First down, they mark it at the 35. Kelly's going to put it up one more time. Complete. Breaks one tackle down to the 42. It's James Lofton. They get him on the board. 23-yard pickup. And all of a sudden, the Bills start to roll.
James Lofton in his 13th year has caught over 11,000 yards in pass receptions because he's still awfully tough over the middle. He's a big target. He's 6'3", and you can see him easily over the middle. Again, running away from the underneath coverage of Terry McDaniel. That ball was well thrown by Kelly, and an easy catch.
Quickly, the Bills are in Raider territory at the 43. Thurman Thomas. That's his best run of the night. Down to the 34-yard line. His 9th carry.
You're right, it is his best run. So what do the Bills have going here? They had a screen pass to Thurman Thomas, and then the deep pass to James Lofton, who had not caught a ball tonight. And then they come back and run Thurman Thomas. So the sequence of the last 3 plays for Marv Levy have been very nice.
Now 9 carries, 33 yards for Thurman Thomas. 17 carries, 67 yards for his opposite number, Marcus Allen. Mueller and Thomas in there. It's Thurman Thomas. First down, 25-yard line. Bills have awakened.
Some terrific blocks here on the right side of the offensive line, creating a huge hole here for Thurman Thomas. The right guard is Davis, number 65, Ken Hall, number 67, the center. And that was really the actually second large hole they have created. And this is what you see when he's coming right at you.
1st and 10 at the 25. Don Smith, the lone setback now. Kelly. It's one hop down there. Lofton was the intended receiver, but he caught it on the short hop. Terry McDaniel was covering. 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Kelly just has not had a night where he's really put a couple of back-to-back great throws together. He had one just a moment ago to James Lofton, but there he had Lofton open again. But yesterday he said, I think I could get Lofton deep, and they tried to go to him on this series.
Lofton is wide left, Reed in the slot to that side. For Reed, complete. 15. Lofton cleared out for him.
You're right.
Ricky Ellison the stop.
But pass routes are combination routes. One receiver clears out, and at the top of the screen, James Lofton, and then Andre Reed has something underneath. And if the guy who's clearing out doesn't do his job, the underneath receiver's not going to get open. So that's a good combination route.
Here comes the 7th play of the drive. It's the longest Buffalo drive of the game. 1st and 10 at the 15. Thurman Thomas, the sole setback. Lofton wide right. He'll throw. End zone. Touchdown. Keith McKellar, the tight end. Listen to this crowd.
They give Jim Kelly some credit because he has had 2 passes intercepted throwing to McKellar. But did you see him look off right before he threw that ball to his left? He looked off to his right, and that gave McKellar just a chance. And then he took the heat. He took the pressure from Greg Townsend. And that is a terrific throw and a gutsy play by Jim Kelly.
And we're a point away from a 3-point ball game. There's the man who caught it. There's the man who threw it.
Twice before, Kelly tried to get the ball to McKellar, and Anderson picked him off. And it was just a little look off, the eyes of Jim Kelly as he looked the defensive backs off, that allowed him to score that touchdown.
Scott Norwood will try to make it 17-14. We have 1:57 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We are headed towards some finish, and we'll be back after this from your local sponsor. Scott Norwood will kick it off for Buffalo. They're right back in the game at 17-14, and now the Bills have a little momentum for really the first time tonight.
Yeah, and that was a terrific drive, the longest drive of the season, by the way, 78 yards, and because they mixed it up awfully well. They had a screen pass, and they had Thurman Thomas running the ball, James Lofton over the middle.
Here we go, Norwood. He drills this one. Brown at the 6. Across the 30-yard line. We'll see where they mark it.
You know, Skip, little things, I think, lead to big things. And the little thing, the subtle thing of Jim Kelly just looking to his right before he throws this ball. Watch his eyes. He goes to the right there, and then he comes back to the left. And that's why McKellar got open just by a little bit for the touchdown. It's a nice look off by Jim Kelly.
And a nice catch by McKellar's as well. 7 plays, 78 yards. 15-yard pass did the damage. Well, here we go. The Raiders go to work. Pretty good field position. Willie Galt wide left. Greg Bell is in the backfield. That's Bell. That's the 34-yard line. And that's all he gets. Shane Conlon on the stop, and now the Bills are a little pumped up here. Well, they might be before huge crowds, 80,000 plus in Buffalo.
I was talking to Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, and he was saying about Shane Conlon. They said, this is a guy that loves contact. He loves to hit people. He's an inside linebacker, and he missed it when he was holding out of camp. That's what he missed most, the physical part of the game.
Greg Bell, Steve Smith, the setback. 2nd and 7. Bell. No more than the 35. 3rd and long. Conlon on the stop again.
You can just sense the momentum changing here, Skip. Long drive by the offense, and the defense comes back. Shane Conlon makes a couple of plays. Bruce Smith got off and really started that play off well for the defense.
James Williams comes in. Carlton Bailey out. Chris Hale checks back in. The Raiders 6 of 10 on 3rd down. They've got 3rd down now. Tim Brown in the slot. Galt wide left. Brown in motion. Complete. 1st down. Fernandez again. 12-yard pickup. What a night he's had. James Williams made the stop. That's 6 catches for him, 128 yards. Here's a look at tonight's Hyundai leaderboard as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. So the Raiders will have the ball. They'll have it in pretty good field position when we come back with 15 more minutes of regulation football remaining. It's 17-14. Bell tripped up as he crosses midfield. Darryl Talley on the stop. Bell has been held quite well in check by his former mates.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Darryl Talley, the outside linebacker. He is really the backbone of this defense. Everybody talks about Bruce Smith and Conlon and Bennett, but the coaches believe and his teammates believe he is the backbone of the defense. You never have to worry about right outside linebacker when Darryl Talley is playing.
Fernandez is wide to the right, Galt to the left. Bell and Smith in the backfield. Bell again. Across the 45, short of the 1st down. It'll be about 3rd and 2. Shane Conlon, another stop.
There's a lot of pushing and shoving going over there with the receivers. Willie Galt and Nate Odoms in the bump and run situation. They're going after one another.
Bell now just 18 yards and 9 carries. Marcus Allen checks in at running back. Tim Brown, the extra wide receiver with Fernandez and Galt.
I was wondering why guys signaling it in plays always have to use their mouth. They actually mouth the play as well as signaling it.
3rd and about 2. Allen, 1st down. Boy, he's a determined runner down to the 40-yard line. Leon seals the stop.
You know, you're right. I think Marcus Allen is one of the best short yardage runners I've seen. I mean, if you need 3 yards, he finds a way to get you 3.5. He'll go over the top. He can run over people. And Cornelius Bennett, number 97, and Ethan Horton going after one another. Just kind of locking up.
1st down, 10 yards to go. The clock ticks with 13 minutes left. Fernandez wide right. Bell is back in there. Schrader will throw. Complete. It's John Man again. Fernandez down to the 27. Mervyn Fernandez, another 14-yard pickup, but a flag on the play. And holding against the Raiders will bring it all back.
Well, nonetheless, Mervyn Fernandez is having one terrific, it's a penalty against the Bills, it looks like. Terrific night.
Or offsetting, let's see.
Holding number 37 on the defense. Holding number 76 on the offense. Penalties offset. It'll still be 1st down.
So a couple of holds, and that was all for nothing.
You know, Fred Biletnikoff has been working with Mervin Fernandez. There's Fred. He is the receiver coach for the Raiders, a great receiver for Kenny Stabler for years and years. And what they've been working on is Fernandez's first 5 steps. Just getting away from the defender, the burst for the first 5 steps. And you've seen the result tonight.
So all that doesn't count. It's 1st and 10 at the 40. Greg Bell is the running back, along with Steve Smith. Long, complete. Down to the 8-yard line. Will he go? 32-yard pass and run. Nate Odom's on the stop. If he throws the ball a little harder, he scores standing up.
He was open by a good 15 yards. Clearly a mix-up in coverage. On the left side of the screen, he gets right past the cornerback, and the safety's not there backing him up. Yeah, that's an easy score if he leads him a little bit more, but it's the sequence of plays. Gould catching the shorter passes earlier, some outs, some hooks, and then they've thrown the ball deep to him 3 times tonight.
Gould and Fernandez wide to the left. Steve Smith, the lone setback. And time is called here. So we'll be back. It'll be 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Can the Raiders push it in? We shall see. 8-yard line.
Very important defensive series here for the Bills.
Steve Smith is the lone running back. They'll throw for it. End zone, too tall. Fernandez tried, but he couldn't get to it. More great protection. I'll tell you that offensive line of Rory Graves and Steve Wisniewski and Don Mosbar, Max Montoya, Steve Wright, and the tight end Ethan Horton have done a great job. There have been no sacks for either team in this game.
Yeah, I really think it's an attitude thing. Again, your head coach is a great offensive lineman. Their offensive line coach is Kim Helton, who's a terrific offensive line coach. So it really, they just kind of they create the environment around there for offensive linemen to be dominated.
Steve Smith still the lone setback. 2nd and goal. Bell caught it at the 5.
And that's a nice catch because Darryl Talley had him well covered.
A very nominal gain would be the result. Let's see.
Boy, that ball was thrown right where it had to be, right away from Talley, and he certainly didn't have control there. No, that's not a catch. That is not a catch.
And I think they may have changed it. No, they give him the catch down near the 6-yard line.
I don't understand now. That's not even close.
Now we may get a... Let's see what we get. Looks like a review.
25, well, the 30-second timer put 7 seconds. 7 on the clock.
He doesn't have the ball there, clearly. Now, his feet aren't in, the ball's out. There's just no doubt that's not a catch. Oh, man.
So it's 3rd down, and they're still a ways away. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, really have been a lot of questionable calls this evening, quite honestly.
They really have, haven't they?
Yeah.
We have 11:29 left in regulation. And they are reviewing this. It's either 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 8.
To me, that really shouldn't be one you have to look at too long.
Well, they can't look at it more than 2 minutes. They're trying to add 7 seconds to the clock.
Following a review by the replay official, the play is ruled as an incomplete pass.
They got it right.
It'll be 3rd down at the previous spot.
Hey, the system works. For 2 yards. Whenever we talk about 3 or 4, 5 maybe plays, 3rd down plays, the difference of the game, I think this is one of them.
3rd and goal. Marcus Allen, the lone setback. It was intended for Tim Brown. Leonard Smith was covering. Let's see what the flag is about.
Schrader's saying it's holding on the Bills.
Oh, man, will that kill them?
Holding, number 47 on the defense. Half the distance for the goal. First down.
First down, Kirby Jackson, the guilty party.
Well, that's a heartbreaker. Again, one of those key third downs. You play well, you think you have them stopped.
And that was away from where the ball was thrown.
Yeah, Leonard Smith did a nice job on Tim Brown.
So from just inside the 5, it's first and goal. Bell is back in there with Smith. Galt in motion. Bell, 4-yard line, no more than that. He really got wrapped up. Kirby Jackson and Shane Conlon both were there.
Well, isn't that a nice play by Kirby Jackson? He just gets the penalty called on him. He comes right back, knifes in off the corner. From the left part of your screen, Kirby Jackson, number 47, will make the play. He gets low, and then Conlon goes high. And that's what a defensive back has to do on Kirby Jackson. If you have the courage to play corner, you have to be able to overcome and forget about mistakes.
Steve Wright is checked in as an eligible pass receiver. Second and goal. They call it the 3-yard line. Schrader bootleg, throw, touchdown, Smith. Steve Smith out of Penn State. Schrader right on the money.
There's a guy you don't think about defending, Skip. When you play the Raiders, you think, hey, we got to stop Willie Galt and Marcus Allen and Greg Bell and Mervyn Fernandez, but they're never going to throw the ball to Steve Smith. But just the element of surprise, the fullback out of the backfield right in the flat. And that's a beautifully conceived play by Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, right there talking to Steve Smith.
Gossett holds, Jaeger kicks. Long one. In the end zone, fumbled away, and Don Smith will wisely not bring it out. Buffalo will set up shop at their 20-yard line. No one has driven 80 yards against the Raiders all year long.
Skip, every touchdown drive has a key play, and this was it for the Raiders of the drive. It was the long pass to a wide open Willie Galt. The safety in the corner, there was some miscommunication between the two, but that set up the touchdown for the Raiders.
Well, the last time they had the ball, the Bills just zipped down the field like a knife through butter. They need to do that again. Time is becoming a factor.
I don't think they can stay in the huddle. I think they have a regular no-huddle offense.
Out of the shotgun, Kelly will put it up to the short man, Andre Reed, and a whistle. He stopped at the 28-yard line. Terry McDaniel made the stop. Second and 2. No huddle, you're right, Pat.
Yeah. At the beginning of the show, we said this was a key early game of the season, fifth game of the season, for showing who's going to be some of the better teams in the AFC East, and it's still that way here in the fourth quarter.
Kelly will put it up. He's got a man complete. Spinning away, Thurman Thomas. First down, 44-yard line, 15-yard pickup.
Harden made the stop. First down.
Mike Harden, the stop. They'll go without a huddle again. 9:45 left.
This is what you want to be doing. Again, not wasting any time in the huddle when you're down by 10 points. And this is a natural thing for them. They run the no-huddle stuff.
Kelly is chased out of the pocket. He'll have to run. Midfield. Down he goes. Townsend made the tackle. Ellison was there as well.
Craig Townsend, who's had a big year for the Raiders as a pass rusher, really has been kind of quiet tonight. Will Wolford, the left tackle for the Bills, has done a pretty nice job.
Clock ticks with 9:10 remaining. Straight ahead, running play. Thomas breaks a tackle across the 45 to the 43. Mike Harden, the safety, finally put the stops to him. First down.
Thurman Thomas loves to run the ball north and south. He said, that's where I gain my yards. That's where the end zone is.
From the 43, Thomas now 11 carries, 50 yards. Kelly goes for all of it. He's got a man. Touchdown.
You know, it's fun. Jim Kelly was talking about that very pass just yesterday. He said, just the way they play their bump and run, I think I could get James Lofton deep on Lionel Washington.
And he did just that. 42 yards, perfectly thrown.
Well, you love to see quarterbacks respond in a difficult situation like Jim Kelly's done tonight and right there.
Frank Reich holds, Norwood kicks. 3-point game. What a ball game we've got here. 8:37 remaining in regulation time. We'll be back after this from your look. Jamie Holland to the deep end. There's James Lofton. Scott Norwood will kick it off. High, short kick. Holland. He's got a seam. The kicker. Norwood ran him out of bounds. 29-yard return of a very high, short kick.
Jim Kelly was saying yesterday, too, that he and James Lofton have a special relationship. They can talk to each other during the course of a game and get a feel for a defense. And when you have a special relationship with a receiver, I think you have plays like that because you have a great deal of confidence in it. And this is a team that's maturing, and guys like Lofton and Kelly are leading the maturation.
You can see that drive didn't take long. Well, here we go. Fernandez wide right. Golf to the left. Bell and Smith. Pressure. He got out of it. He throws. Incomplete. No in the grasp was called. Darryl Talley did everything but good.
This is fun. I think both defenses have played remarkably well. Offenses have come up with some big plays. And Darryl Talley comes to the right part of your screen. He is just not going to be denied as he first jumps over Greg Bell and then gives Jay Schrader a second shot, along with Bruce Smith.
That could have easily been called in the grass, but it was not. 2nd and 10. Complete. Does that guy ever miss? Fernandez again under tremendous pressure and a good throw as well.
You know, and he's the perfect receiver on the other side of Willie Gault. 7th catch tonight, 135 yards, but what he does is run all the other kind of cuts, the out cuts, the in cuts, runs hooks, run over the middle, and you have Willie Gault on the other side that's going to blow right by him, so they complement one another very well.
3rd down, about 4. This place is up for grabs.
This is Bruce Smith's kind of down. He and Bennett on the same side.
Allen and Smith the setback. No! Cornelius Bennett.
They lined up Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith on the same side. They both come down the line of scrimmage, and it's Cornelius Bennett running the play down. Nice defensive design, and then nice hustle by Bennett.
Jeff Gossett will kick it away to Chris Hale. He stands at his 11-yard line. The kick will come from about the 35. 7 minutes left in regulation. Oh, block! A touchdown will result. They've done it again. They've done it again. James Williams, the touchdown. Steve Tasker, the block. Listen to these people.
Comes right off the corner. He's the guy that caused the fumble, remember, earlier on Brown. And then he blocks that one. 2 big special teams plays by Steve Tasker.
Wow. Wow is right. The Bills have done it with their special teams again. This is just like the Denver game a week ago. Unbelievable. But it's not over. 6:52 left. Stay with us. At the 4. Brown at the 20. Across the 30-yard line to the 32.
2 huge special teams plays by Steve Tasker, number 89. Remember early in the game, Brown tried to catch the ball. It was right there. The first guy down causing the fumble was Steve Tasker. And then just a moment ago, Tasker blocks the punt, his 4th career block in his 6-year career. That's 2 terrific plays. It has turned the momentum and the score around in this game.
And James Williams was off to the races. Well, now let's see. The poise of the Raiders will really be tested. Tasker, a 6-year man out of Northwestern. From the 32. Schrader will throw. He avoids pressure. Marcus Allen. Penalty flags fly. Allen to the 39. Let's see what the flag is all about. Leon Seals made the stop on Allen. It's going to be holding against the Raiders. It'll be 1st and 20.
Wow.
Holding, number 76 on the offense. Still 1st down.
The only thing that scares you a little bit as you look around this place, we have to use the same highways these people use to get home.
Not for a while, we don't.
That's right. Steve Wisniewski, guilty of holding.
Well, they always talk about this attitude, the old Raider attitude, and how many come-from-behind wins did the Raiders have with Kenny Stabler and Jim Plunkett and those guys playing quarterback.
Fernandez to the left, Galt to the right. Complete, but for nothing. Fernandez made the stop, but he got nowhere. Darryl Talley again.
Remember the top of the show, Skip, you were wondering how emotional this Bill team would be. I think they've answered the question. When they play with emotion, these guys are awfully tough, and they're led by that man, Darryl Talley, who's been all over the field tonight.
They haven't been all razzmatazz tonight. They've been like businessmen out there.
Yeah, they
emotional businessmen.
Right, they just played hard. They haven't been celebrating a lot. They just played hard.
2nd and 22. Allen, the lone setback. There's a sack. Loose ball. Who's got it? I think the Bills. Yes. Cornelius Bennett.
And he caused the fumble, Cornelius Bennett. And he came right off the corner. Yeah, he sort of threw the ball up in the stands. Left part of the screen, number 97. He is against Steve Wright. Came right off the corner. Watch, he gets his hand in there. And then he goes over. And then he makes a recovery.
What an athlete.
And then he throws the ball up in the stands. Threw the ball up in the stands. That's a terrific effort on that play by Cornelius. He makes the fumble, recovers the ball, and throws it 50 yards, 50 rows up into the stands.
This is not a rerun of last week's Buffalo game, I promise you, but it sure looks like it. James Lofton, wide right. Mueller and Smith are the setback. Halfback pass. No. Andre Reed, the intended receiver. They went for the knockout.
That is a terrific call, but give the Raider defense some credit. And Carlton Daly, number 54, the linebacker. Don Smith was a college quarterback. And he threw this ball pretty well. A wishbone quarterback in college, he still can throw it pretty well. But number 54 was not fooled, the inside linebacker for the Raiders.
28-24, 5:15 left. Gibbs straight ahead. Mueller keeps his feet near the 12, short of the first down. Ricky Ellison the stop at an 8-yard gain. The Bills have it all going now. But if they have to settle for 3, a touchdown could tie it. Less than 5 minutes, as you see. Third, a long 2. Thomas. 7-yard line. Mike Haden ran him out. First down, goal to go.
Well, the Bills have run the option play in short yardage situations twice this year, and both times they come up with first downs. It's really more of a pitch than an option play, but on the unmanned block man, Greg Townsend can make the play on Thurman Thomas. So they come out with a halfback pass and then the option play in this series.
They mark the ball at the 8-yard line. First and goal from there. Thomas, the lone setback. Cut back. Flags fly in the area normally holding. Bob Golick made the stop. And it's holding against the Bills, and that will set them back.
Well, I think you mentioned a significant point. You force the field goal here. That's what the Raiders have to do, and just make it a 7-point game.
Number 65 on the offense. It's still first down.
John Davis, the 4-year man out of Georgia Tech, Plan B acquisition from Houston a year ago, the guilty party.
Now what this Raider defense has to do, if the Bills throw the ball, and there is some doubt about that, I think they've got to come up with a sack. Some sort of negative play on defense.
4:27 left. First and 18. Kelly, swing pass. Thomas has a blocker in front. 10, 5, out of bounds.
What a good play by the center, Ken Hall. Skip, it really was.
Hall out of Mississippi State led the way.
Watch 67. He's going to come back into your screen, too. Here's the guy. He makes the line call. He snaps the ball, and then he screens off the defensive back, Washington, so that Thurman Thomas can come around. And we've seen a very, very good offensive line play by both teams. That time, Ken Hall, the center for the Bills.
Second and goal from the 5. They picked up 13. Thomas, the lone setback. He's run out of room. He got nothing. It's third at the 5. Mike Haden was there to run him out. He had no chance on that play. They just strung him out.
Remember, right before halftime, the Bills defense kind of bowed their necks and forced the Raiders to kick the field goal. Well, the Raider defense, it's on them now. They have to do the same thing here for the Bills.
Into the game for the Bills, Don Smith and Al Edwards, a reserve wide receiver.
And that's a pretty impressive statistic, too, for the Bills. Getting the ball into the end zone down here.
Edwards comes wide left. Smith and Thomas, the running back. He overthrew it.
Nice coverage, too, by Jerry Robinson. He threw it away because Jerry Robinson had Thurman Thomas very well covered.
So Scott Norwood will come in and try to make it a 7-point game.
And we just talked about the defense having to make a play, and they did. That ball was thrown away just because Robinson did his job of taking the route away from Thurman Thomas.
28-24, Bill. A 23-yard try. They lead by 7. Bills 31. Raiders 24 with 4:07 left.
There, I think, had 3 sacks in a row for the Dolphins today. Boy, the Falcons came back, and that was a good game, too. Falcons and Saints, big win for Jerry Glanville at home this week. And Lions, after a disappointing loss last week, beat the Vikings.
We'll have the Bears for you next week. And in overtime, the Bengals won a heck of a game from the Rams. This could be an overtime game, too, but only if the Raiders can go down the field and get it in the end zone. Here's the key play to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a special teams play. You talk so much about offense and defense and linemen. And then it's Steve Tasker, a little guy who's 5'9", 185 pounds, who's really caused 2 key special teams plays tonight for the Bills.
Brown and Holland will be the kicker. Here's the kick. At the 20. He gets to the 28-yard line. Jamie Holland out of Ohio State returned it.
You know, if the Bills go on to win this game, unlike a week ago when people were saying, hey, they were lucky to win it, this isn't lucky for the Bills. They played good enough defense, some very good offense in the second half, and the special teams have played well.
Now the pass rush. Let's sit back and watch this. Ray Bentley made the stop. Second and 8.
You know what, the Raiders throw the ball downfield so much. What they've done such a good job of protecting Jay Schrader now. If they could just get, I think, a shorter route here to take some of the rush off of Bruce Smith.
The 45 and out of bounds. Willie Gault, a 14-yard reception.
You know, Willie Gault runs so many deep routes, and you have to be so concerned about him running by you, and he's done that tonight a couple of times on Nate Odoms. The combination of the straight go route where he runs upfield and the out, he ought to make a living off of that, Willie Gault. Just a feast between 2 routes, the out and the go.
2:50 remaining. Quick out. Picked off. He's going all the way. Nate Odoms.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you have to have an attitude to play corner, and Nate Odoms had it. This ball is tipped first. That's why it's a little bit late. And then he just strips it. He just takes it away from Willie Gault, and then right down the sideline. Now, Nate Odoms is the guy a week ago who blocked a field goal that turned the game around, too.
He just picked his pocket. That's all there is to it. It was a completion. 37-24.
Now, we've had a lot of points scored, but it's really been a lot of good defense. And good defense by plays like this with Nate Odoms. He was beaten just to play earlier by Willie Gault, comes right back, and this one belongs to Nate Odoms.
And right in front of the Raider bench.
You're right. And Skip, all year long we've talked about this being a defensive year, a year of defensive scores and sacks and interceptions. Again, look, week 1, 8 touchdowns scored by the defense. And all through the week today, 4 defensive touchdowns scored in the NFL and 1 safety. So it has been a year of big defensive play.
24 points in the quarter for the Bills. And this huge crowd is in a frenzy. Next week, by the way, the Bills have an open date. The Raiders are home to Seattle. 20 minutes ago, it looked like they were going to be home undefeated. Yeah. But it doesn't look that way now. Holland and Brown are the deep men. And Art Shell lost and fought across the way.
2 touchdowns down behind, 2:34 remaining, all 3 timeouts. So there still is time. There still is time for them to make some plays. They have the kind of speed to be able to do it.
But the odds are a little longer now than they were.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Doesn't take a Rhodes Scholar to figure that out.
Yeah, go on a limb like that again, would you?
Norwood's kick. It's going to be Brown at the 5. Flags fly. He is buried at the 27. Don Smith got it. Probably another illegal block. And that will set the Raiders back further.
Well, take one more look at this play by Nate Odoms. This is the defense that has responded. The first the ball was tipped. Odoms has that attitude that you need to play defensive quarter. You can get beaten on one play and come right back the next time and make a turnover and a touchdown this way. It gets lonely out there sometimes at corner, but you don't mind it so much when you're going to make plays like that.
2:25 left. Well, Schrader and his mates have to air it out now, no doubt about that. Flags fly. So does Schrader at the 17, but it looked like the Bills were either drawn off or jumped offside. And it's finally sort of quiet here. It's going to be against the Raiders.
False start. Number 60 on the offense. The clock should say 2:24. 2:24 on the clock.
Rory Gray's moved too soon.
And along with our theme of defensive football this year, the Bills really have scored an awful lot of points off of turnovers, directly with the turnovers and as a result of them.
Time is called as some toilet paper comes flying onto the field. And our official wins the Good Housekeeping seal. 2:24 left in the game. Next Sunday will be in Chicago. The Rams and Bears, 7 o'clock for the stadium show, Eastern time. We'll have the game for you at 7:30. Loose football, recovered, it looks like by the Raiders. Cornelius Bennett caused the turnover, caused the sack.
And what a second half Cornelius Bennett has had. A week ago, he was taking some criticism for not getting to the quarterback. Coaches say he's played remarkably well all this year. Bottom of the screen, number 97. Not only are these guys getting to the quarterbacks and just sacking them, they're causing turnovers. They're coming from the backside of the quarterback, and that's where big plays come from.
We've reached the 2-minute period. We'll be back. Rock Hudson and Jim Brown are after a crashed Soviet satellite at the North Pole in Ice Station Zebra. That's after the stadium show, which is after the game.
which is 2 minutes from now.
You're right. 2 minutes left. 2nd and 24. He's got his tight end to the 16-yard line. Ethan Horton out of North Carolina. 1:48 remaining. And a holding penalty against the Raiders sets them back to the goal line.
Holding, number 60 on the offense. After distance to the goal, still 2nd down.
Now the fourth quarter's up until this game. The Raiders have owned, outscoring their opponents
36-6 or something like that.
35-6, yeah. But tonight has clearly been another story.
I bet the Bills wish they did not have an open date next week after this high.
Yeah, although you'll have to be able to enjoy it for 2 weeks as well.
Intercepted. Mark Kelso. And that is that.
I'll tell you, Mark Kelso is one of those guys, number 38. He is an amazing player. His coach, Walt Corey, said to me yesterday, this kid's going to heaven. He's just a terrific guy. Oh, it looks like he hurt his left knee.
You hate to see a game that's over, for all intents and purposes, have an injury. Here's Galt. Here, let's see if we can see what happened.
Yeah, he just came down. Ugh. Boy. Mark
You can see it sort of spun around Odom's there.
Here it is. More interceptions than anybody. Man. Ugh. Man, his ankle. More interceptions than anybody the last 3 years for Mark Kelso. That's 19. I think he's hurt his ankle. And that's not a good sign when they pull that stuff out.
It comes with 1:40 left in the game, and his team with the ball and a 14-point lead. Don't forget, next week, as we see this unpleasant scene, the Bears will be home after winning today and upping their record to 4-1 against the Rams. Your ex-team is really struggling, Pat.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they lost a heartbreaker to the Bengals today, but the Bears are somewhat like the Raiders. They're kind of a basic physical team. They're going to run the ball at you. They're going to play good defense. So a big win really has a disheartening moment, a real asterisk to it for the Bills.
Well, here comes Buffalo, and they have absolutely nothing else to prove in this game. Thurman Thomas. Dan Land, a reserve out of Albany State, made the stop. Don't forget the Stadium Show postgame comes up next. Fred Hickman, Kevin Kiley, Willie Wildcat and company will have the postgamer for you.
You know, I think you have to give the Bills an awful lot of credit. There's a lot of people around the league question their heart, their leadership, their ability to come from behind. And I think tonight they answered an awful lot of questions.
Last 2 weeks they've shown remarkable resiliency against good teams. Thurman Thomas again gets very little. It's a first down. 40 seconds left. Art Shell is ready to head for the airport. Marv Levy is ready to head for the locker room.
And the 49ers and Giants now are the only unbeaten teams remaining in the NFL.
Kelly lets the clock tick down. The Bears and the Rams next Sunday from Chicago. They have to run one more play. And Kelly drops to one knee, and this one is history. Bills 38, Raiders 24. 24 fourth quarter points for the home team, Buffalo Bills. Marv Levy and Art Shell will hook up at midfield. The Bills go to 4-1. The Raiders drop to 4-1. 38-24 is our final. Back after this.